It's
Yeah,
awesome.
always great to hear these stories. So, we started digging into, Google Analytics 4. Do you feel that things like GA4 are empowering the average business owner, the average manager to be, I suppose, more curious about their data, to delve deeper, giving them more tools necessary to make those decisions without necessarily an entire team and investment behind it?
No, I think you can, with any analytics tool, this includes Google Analytics, you can begin to learn a few things about your reality, even if you don't have anybody. So the team at Google Analytics spends an extraordinary amount of time on user research and all different types of users and sizes and companies and things. And so if you just log in, even if you don't know a lot about analytics and you're a very busy business owner, you can get some sense of reality. You can say, approximately these many, like, oh, I understand visits. I understand these many people came. I understand page views, right? Like, oh, this much like page load. So I think in aggregate, you can get some good sense. If you were so clever that you actually had somebody configure your e-commerce things
Mm-hmm.
correctly, then as a business owner, you benefit tremendously from knowing, this is my revenue, right? These are the orders, this is my conversion rate. So you get a little bit of a sense for things, but very quickly sort of you'll end up saying, well, what do I do differently and what can I do better? And at that point, I think if you're not analytically oriented, there's only so much you can pull out of Google Analytics to action. So you can understand a few things, and our hope is that you understand enough things that you're curious to invest a tiny amount of money in somebody who can tell you what to do
Definitely.
to get better numbers. Now, this could, of course, be a consultant you could hire for a few hours, which again, right? It consultants, there's like a official GA Google authorized consultant network. You could hire somebody from there for a few hours, a few days, a few weeks, and I say this with no hesitation, that any one of them will make you way more money than you're going to pay them. So
Exactly.
Lubaba, of course, is not for hire, but let's say her rate is $100 an hour. I'm clearly paying her not enough. But let's say, and you hire her for 5 hours, it's $500. In 5 hours of work, Lubaba can actually find you interesting things to activate that will easily make you 5,000. Right? And I always say that's the start of the journey. Don't just say, I'm going to hire somebody for a year and I'm going to pay them an extraordinary amount of money, and then you're like fighting ROI. And he's like, no, start small and then kind of go from there, go from there, go from there. But so I do think that the tool has become simpler so that even lay people can understand a few things.
And start to see the value.
My hope is it is enough to then invest a tiny amount of money in analytics person, whether it's a consultant, whether it's an in-house person, part-time, somebody in your finance department, whatever makes sense. And I think the tool does that better than it has ever done in the past.